Hello, I'm Andrei from Ruski Airsoft Workshop, and this is LCTairsoft PKP Pecheneg. A short excursus to a history of the original firearm PKP. The PKP machine gun was developed by Untitled in the middle of 1990s based on the PKM, at that moment the general purpose machine gun of the army. And it is got in production in 1999 at the Kovrov firearm plant. Its name, PKP, stands for Пулемет Калашникова Пехотный, or in English, the Infantry Kalashnikov machine gun. Most of design change has been done to the front set, to the barrel assembly, and therefore the PKM and the PKP are unified for about 80%. The new machine gun has got a heavier forced air-cooled barrel with cooling ribs, what has dramatically improved the cooling of the barrel and therefore the durability and the accuracy of the barrel and of the machine gun itself. Also, it has got an integrated carrying handle that also helped to remove the haze effect above the barrel when the warm air was rising up from the barrel and limiting the view of the operator. The new barrel assembly design has made the quick changeable barrel unnecessary. However, the barrel still can be removed for maintenance or repair. Another modification, the bipod has moved forward towards the front of the barrel near the muzzle device, and that has improved the stability of the gun when it is operated from the bipod. However, that brought one drawback to the gun: the maneuverability of the gun has decreased. The base PKP machine gun has got a GRAU index of 6P41, and there are several different modifications of the gun. 6P41N with a side mount for the night scopes and other optical devices, 6P41S for the Stepanov tripod, and the combination of those 6P41SN with Stepanov tripod and the side rail for the optics. The empty weight of the firearm is 8.2 kg and the fully loaded weight is about 12 kg. The full length of the machine gun is 1155 mm, and the box magazine can hold the feeding belts of 100 or 200 rounds. And now let's proceed to the Airsoft replica made by LCT. As always, from LCT, everything what have to be made of steel is made of steel. Very high quality, heavy steel. The only thing that are plastic are the stock, the pistol grip, and the cover for the carrying handle. Those are made from hard ABS plastic. The full length of the machine gun is exactly 1155 mm, the same length as the original firearm. The empty weight is 10.2 kg with the BOXMAG, and the fully loaded weight with the BOXMAG and the BBs is about 12 kg, which is almost the same or almost exactly the same as the original loaded firearm. The advertised capacity of the box magazine of this machine gun is 5000 BBs. Now let's take a closer look at the details, and I would like to split it in three parts: the stock, the body, and the front sight. The stock. The stock, as I said, made of ABS plastic, and it has several elements on it. The shoulder support, which you might use when you are shooting from the bipod. And also here on top there is a small tool that you can extract. This one I will tell about it a bit later. This is actually the adjustment tool to adjust your front sight of the machine gun. Now let's proceed to the body. First, the top cover. You can open it by unlocking the latch on the rear part and taking the cover upwards. Under the top cover you can see the gearbox. This is the custom M60 gearbox, the same as an M60 and RPD machine guns from LCTairsoft. And also here in front you have access to the hop-up unit. Then on the top cover you have a rear sight, which is marked for 1500 meters, exactly the same as on the real steel prototype. And also you have a knob that allows you to regulate the center of your rear sight. To operate the rear sight, of course, it's the same way as you operate the AK rear sight. The side mount. The side mount is used to install some optical devices, night vision devices, or red dots. For example, here I have my PKA red dot, which I will try to install. You see, it's installed, so it can be used directly. Also, if you need access under top cover, for example, if you want to change the hop-up settings, you just pull the locking latch, your optics goes aside, and you have fully access under your top cover. Then you just lock it back and you can operate further. Then below we have a pistol grip. Pistol grip is not the same as on the PKMs and PKPs of the other brands, and I mean the Airsoft pistol grip. This one is actually about 25 mm wide, so thinner than the normal Airsoft AEG pistol grips. This allows you actually to operate your gun more securely and more comfortable. Then also on the left side near the pistol grip you have your firing control unit. This machine gun has only two settings, safety and fire. If your safety lever here pointing backwards, it is on safe. If you turn it front, it is fully automatic firing mode. Now back on safe. Also we have a couple of covers here on the left side. This one and this one. So on the real steel prototype, this one is used to extract your fitting belt, and this one is used to extract the shot cartridges. And also here below we have our box magazine mounting bracket. On the right hand side there are also several elements of interest. For example, here this charging handle. And what about it? Actually, if you put it up front, it is locked here in front, so if you run, it is not wobbling, it's just steady and staying here, not sliding back and forth. Also, when you pull it back, you can see there is a dust cover under the charging handle between the gearbox and the body, meaning it is preventing from surroundings, from the trash coming inside the body and going into the gearbox of the machine gun. Second element here is actually what resembles the opening for the fitting belt on the firearm. Underneath here you have the wires. Actually these wires are going to the box magazine where the battery is located. Now let's take a look at the front set. So first of all, our integrated carrying handle with plastic overlay. Then we have here the elements for the Stepanov tripod mount on the right hand side and on the left hand side also. Then we have here in front the moving part, which is the gas regulator, or resembles the gas regulator on the firearm, that is used to change the amount of powder gas that is going back to the mechanism when operating in cold or muddy conditions. Further to the front we have our front sight, and I promised you to show the working of the front sight adjustment tool. So you just take your adjustment tool, put it above the small pin inside, and by turning it left and right, counterclockwise and clockwise, you can set the height of the front side post. Here is our muzzle device, and down here is our bipod. So bipod is operated very easily. You just pull the pods together and locks them with the holder. So now it is locked. To unlock it, you just remove the locking thing and set your bipod open. Tiny thing, tiny detail that LCT has made is here you can find the cleaning rod. It is not really useful on the Airsoft replica, but it gives more real feel for the gun itself. Okay, the final part, the box magazine. It is made of steel, it is quite heavy, it is heavier than 1.5 kilogram. I think it's about 1.6 empty. Made of steel, and here on the side we have a canvas carrying strap. To open it, we just turn the latch here on the right side and open the box. So inside they have a space for the BBs, and also here under the metal hood we have a motor compartment. Let me remove this metal hood. Here you can see the motor, which is responsible for pushing the BBs to the feeding tube. The feeding tube is actually not plastic as on another models, but is made of flexible spring. Is it good or is it bad? I didn't have any problems with the feeding device, so it is working. Let's close the box magazine. So originally LCT has made the box magazine operated from a separate battery. So you connect the battery to the connector, and here under the bottom you have the button that you have to push to start the motor pushing the BBs inside the feeding tube. Here on the top you have the locking mechanism, and I have to say a good detail from LCT Airsoft. They have used the rivets instead of bolts, so this resembles how the original firearm magazine made, which is also using the rivets over here. One tiny remark: when you are using LCT box magazine, be careful when unlocking it from the machine gun. Don't force it, because these rivets can be broken. I already broke the rivets on mine, and now I'm using the bolts as on the other brands' box magazines. So as you can see, LCT has made a very nice gun which resembles the original firearm in a lot of details. However, there are several cosmetical flaws I found. A tiny remark here: I have not have access to a real firearm PKP, so I am basing me on the tons of photos that I have seen on the internet. First, the stock. The stock actually resembles the stock of the PKM and not the PKP. Next element is that the top cover is not going vertical as it goes on the firearm. Here on the Airsoft model it goes about 60 degrees and not further. It is not limiting your access to the hop-up, however it's not 100% accurate. Next one, the carrying handle covers. The plastic of the carrying handle is a little bit deformed, that is giving you a little bit not that neat view as it should. Next element are the cooling ribs. The cooling ribs, as you probably can see here, are having flat tops, while on the firearm they are just triangle cooling ribs. And also the next one is just underneath the barrel. This lower shield is actually welded backwards. The form is more or less correct, but this white part should be behind, closer to the body. And the final element I found is the markings here. It says Огонь, what means fire in English. However, these letters are not Cyrillical, but Latin, which is lookalikes of Cyrillic letters. And the final remark about the markings on the firearm are all made with white color, while on the Airsoft replica the rear side markings are in red, and the gas block and the fire control unit markings are not colored at all. All that said, I hope these remarks will be improved in the second batch that is expected to come out in December this year, or maybe January of the next year. Now let's proceed to the operations of this gun. So let me show how to operate this machine gun. First of all, let's attach the battery to the box magazine. Just put it inside, attach the battery. We can close now the top cover. And check if everything is working. So pushing the button, the motor is turning. Next is our second battery for the main battery for the machine gun. However, I would like to attach the box magazine first. It's done very easy. Just put it on a mount bracket and lock it. It is attached. Now let's take the wires from the gearbox, connect the battery, and now we can put the battery here in the battery compartment and hide a little our wires. So now the gun is ready to fire. Let me turn it to another side to show you how to operate the fire control unit. Okay, now with battery is attached, we have here our firing control unit. We must turn it forward and the gun is ready to operate. When we are finished, we just put it backwards on the safe. So if you want to adjust your hop-up, you just have to go to under the top cover, pull up the second cover here, and there you have this golden colored thing is your hop-up unit. It's a rotary type hop-up unit, and if you need more hop, you have to turn it counterclockwise or from right to left. If you need less hop, you turn it clockwise or from left to right. When you are finished the settings, you just close the top cover and proceed. To load BBs in the magazine, you don't have to open it. You just open here the small cover and throw some BBs in the box magazine. Now I would like to show you what I do not like about this gun, and that is actually operating from two batteries. First, to start shooting, you need to push the button on the box magazine. Okay, so now the spring is fully compressed and the BBs are in the feeding tube. And now take a look at this. So there is a short burst, I would say about 20 to 30 BBs, that is shot without the pulling the button constantly. So if you want a very long burst, you just need to keep pushing the button. So this is actually what I do not really like about this gun, and I did some modifications to the electronic parts of this gun. Let me demonstrate it to you. So what did I do to this gun? I rewired the electronic parts, and I put the gate nano ASR MOSFET, and also I took one of the wires from the motor part of the gate MOSFET, and I use it to feed the box magazine. So for the box magazine, I have now two connectors in it. One for the battery. Put the battery connected. And the second one is for the machine gun part. So let me attach the gearbox and connect the wires over here. So the standard DINs from the battery to the MOSFET, and the negative wire from the motor towards the motor of the box magazine. Now let me demonstrate how it works. So you don't need to push the button. And everything is working as it should. So now you only have one battery and no need to press the button on the box magazine. After the game, you have to disconnect your battery. Very careful. It's not always easy. And now to detach your box magazine, you just push this locking mechanism and remove the magazine from the machine gun. Now you have to remove the battery from the box magazine, of course, and you can package the gun to go home.